definitely been some weirdness going on around Arivaca here. Behind town, just north of town, I should say, there's the Amigo Wash, little valley that goes along with it. And I've heard stories for years about people hearing, stuff or people or creatures or whatever moving around down in there. And I always figured it was just, bullshit. But a few months back, I was down that way. I was returning some money to a friend of mine. A little bit late at night, and he'd already gone to bed. So when I came up to his place, I parked my truck outside his gate and walked up. And sure enough, no one answered the door. It was all dark. Left the money in his car and quietly walked back towards the truck. He's had this pond on his place. It was dry at the time. I'm walking down through this pond. The road is kind of up above me, up above my head. And there's a fence between me and the road and the truck. Suddenly I hear a very familiar voice, not anyone I know, but a familiar voice, say, "Hey George." And I froze dead in my tracks. What the hell? So I started looking around with my flashlight, didn't see nothing. Started walking again, I heard it again. "Hey George." What the, it's kind of freaking me out now. It sounds just like a familiar voice, like it's someone I know, but it's not anyone in particular I know. I can't put a finger on who the hell it was. So I get out to the gate, out to my truck, I open up the truck door, and there's my dog, who's usually pretty calm and just sitting there. This time he's, standing up in the seat, and he's going, "Dad, let's get the fuck out of here." So, I had the heebie-jeebies, so I didn't waste no time, got out of there. So I told that story to a few people, and a lot of people had similar stories. Okay, that's pretty interesting. But then, about 2 weeks ago, I was coming back from Tucson with a friend of mine, and his girlfriend, and about the 15-mile marker, we like to stop and go look for chalcedony and fire agate. Nice little spot up there for it. So we're out there hunting around, and we keep hearing this unnatural screech. And I don't know. It didn't sound like an animal. It didn't sound like a person. It sounded like a person trying to imitate an animal almost, but it's unnatural sounding, freaky. We hear all the cattle down below in the field mooing, and they're quite anxious, obviously. And we were hearing this, this sound coming from the road. In the meantime, came across this green Mojave rattlesnake, fairly good sized one too, and wasn't coiled up, wasn't rattling, nothing. It just kind of slithered away, just sort of looking back at me like, "Well, what do you want?" I gave it a wide berth. Didn't think nothing of it at the time. First time I've ever seen a snake up there, though. And then we decided to take off, and we all of a sudden realized that we're hearing that screech again, but from 180 degrees opposite of us. It's on the other side of us now. Too weird. So we get in the truck, we take off, drive back down the road, and as we're driving up the road, we get maybe about 50 feet, 100 feet, something like that, from where we turn back on the road, and we find this deer. This deer hasn't been hit by a car. It's dead, all right, but it ain't been hit by a car because it's been dragged sideways across the road. You see the blood trail and the drag marks and everything. It's a fresh kill. I mean, I've killed deer myself plenty of times, so I know what fresh deer looks like. And its eyes weren't all glassy like they normally are when they're dead. Its eyes were like bulging out of its skull like it was in terror. And something had disemboweled it, ripped its tongue out, and left its tongue just laying there on the road, and drug it about 3/4 of the way across the pavement. And I'll throw the video up here in a second. Hopefully it ain't too gory for YouTube. Find this deer. It's been disemboweled. There's its tongue. Drug all the way across the road. And there's some kind of creature around here making some kind of weird ass fucking noise that don't sound very natural at all. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies and I'm getting the fuck out of here. But anyway. So yeah, and it freaked me out, and we got the hell out of there because we could hear that sound again coming from a little further up the road. And then it hit me as we're driving off. About a year ago, in that same spot, almost exactly, someone had drawn some kind of satanic sigil on the road right there where that deer was. Like they're summoning something or some kind of black magic bullshit. So yeah, I don't know what to make of all that, but it's pretty weird. I mean, something's going on. I just don't know what it is. I'm a very open-minded person, but I try and keep a rational head, and I'm a logical person. I figure there's an explanation for everything out there in the world. It's just a matter of what the hell is the explanation on this one. That's just weird. If anyone else has any thoughts on this or anything similar happened to them, let me know.